from just about everyone. What was yours?
Mike, number one, my thoughts with Kevin Ward Jr. and his family, number one. I want everybody to know that the whole entire NASCAR family are thinking about Kevin and what's happened here. When it comes to Tony, we're all happy Tony's back. We're really excited Tony's back. I mean, he's been in mourning. There's no doubt about that. I watched the press conference at length. I kept replaying it in my own motorhome, looking at that press conference again. The guy's obviously still tore up and very, very upset. He's been gone for 3 weeks right now. He's been mourning, like I've said, but there's one thing for sure. He's got 275 employees back at Stewart Hot Racing. And all those families and all those people want him back really, really bad. And with that said, Tony decided to come back racing. And Brad, I can tell you, we're all glad that he's back. But there's not one moment it goes by that we don't get Kevin Ward and his family out of our thoughts.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Rusty. And, you know, the circumstances are devastating and even tragic at best. And, you know, when I first heard Tony was going to come back and race today, my initial reaction was like, oh, no, it's too soon. But as I started to think about it, I started thinking about Tony Stewart and who he is and what he represents and his being. He is a racer. That's what he does best. In order to create a sense of normalcy in his life, or a measure of normalcy, he has to get back into that race car. So the thing for me, after hearing all the voices, and Tony's a public figure, so that's part of the situation. But you hear all the opinions and all the voices all the time about the situation. I wanted to hear Tony's voice. I did that yesterday, and I heard in his voice, I heard contrition. You know, I heard you know, you could hear and feel the pain and the angst, and you see someone that's disturbed by the circumstances. So by hearing that and seeing that, I look at Tony and say this is an opportunity for him to take a step forward. We're not forgetting about Kevin Ward and his family, right, but Tony needs to step forward and move on.
Very good insight. And now to get some additional perspective, we're going to go upstairs to Alan Bestwick, who's with Dale Jarrett and Andy Petrie. Alan?
Mike, thanks. So that a conversation on the timing of Tony's return, and now we discuss Tony's actual return. Takes an incredible amount of focus to drive a race car here at Atlanta at speeds exceeding 200 miles an hour. Is Tony able to have that kind of focus?
I can assure you this decision was 100% Tony Stewart's decision to be back here and drive a race car. And he understands as a driver for so many years the focus that you have to have, what it takes to do that, to be out with 42 other competitors. You have to be at your very best and able to tune everything else in your world and everything else going on in your world out of that. So he understands that. He will have a difficult time yet tomorrow once he gets in the race car to drive the race, I believe. But he will put that behind him. He understands the focus that he needs. It's taken a lot of people to help Tony get to this point of even being able to think about getting back in the race car. But he did have that support. He's seen that support back here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. You know, as Rusty and Brad and everyone has also said, you know, we can only hope that the Kevin Ward Jr., his family, are getting that same type of help and support as they try to deal with this tragic accident.
Yeah, and Tony's taken 3 weeks away from the sport to kind of reflect on such a horrible tragedy. And if you think about it, though, it's his job he wants to get back to. He wants to get back to work. And so he comes here to a job that's given him tremendous pleasure and happiness over the years. But the last 12 months has brought tremendous pain. He had the crash. Now, this incident and tragic incident has caused him so much pain emotionally. But I think that he just wants to get back to work. He's been out of work for a long time, the last 12 months, and I think he's just trying to get back in here and get back to what is something normal for him and see how he's going to deal with it from here.
Mike, Richard Petty said about the death of his grandson Adam in a racing crash several years ago, Farmers Farm, Petty's race. And the same applies to Tony Stewart. Tony is a racer, and it is time in his decision to get back to work.
And he will race on Sunday night, albeit under the microscope. Our coverage of the Oral-B USA